There are moments when the sky seems silent, when prayers hang unanswered in the still air, and your heart wonders if heaven has forgotten your name. Yet even in that quiet, something eternal is moving. Beyond the veil of sight, a divine announcement has already been made. Heaven has declared your victory. It was spoken before you saw the battle. It was written before you felt the pain. What looks like struggle to you is celebration in heaven's record. Victory, you see, is not the sudden end of hardship. It is the quiet certainty that your suffering is not wasted. God does not measure triumph by applause, wealth, or human approval. He measures it by endurance, faith, and love that holds steady when everything else collapses. The gates of heaven do not open to those who never fell. They open to those who rose again with grace still in their hands. Your wounds, carried with humility, are the proof that you fought on sacred ground. The reason you have not yet seen the victory is because it is still being revealed through you. Heaven's announcement is not meant to be heard with your ears, but recognized with your spirit. Every closed door, every loss, every sleepless night is heaven rearranging the pieces to make your triumph visible at the right hour. What you think is delay is actually divine timing training your soul to carry the weight of answered prayer. Do not let despair speak louder than the promise. The same God who formed galaxies from darkness is forming glory from your grief. The enemy wants you to mistake the middle for the ending, but heaven has already declared the conclusion. The trumpet has sounded where your eyes cannot see. Angels already know your name as the one who overcame. So walk, not as one defeated, but as one already crowned. You are not waiting for victory. You are walking toward the unveiling of what has already been secured. When you chose faith over fear, forgiveness over bitterness, and hope over surrender, you won. Heaven saw it, recorded it, and proclaimed it. The battle may still echo around you, but the war is over. Heaven just announced your victory. Your battle is not a sign of defeat, but evidence that victory has already been declared in heaven. Every struggle you face carries the whisper of something greater moving behind it. What feels like chaos on earth is often the sound of heaven rearranging things in your favor. The battle you are in is not punishment, but proof that God has trusted you with resistance that leads to revelation. If heaven has declared victory over your name, then the conflict you see is not a contradiction. It is confirmation. The enemy does not fight what he already possesses. He fights what he fears will break through. We often think victory comes after the struggle, but in truth, it begins before it. God does not enter battles uncertain of the outcome. Before you ever face the storm, He already spoke peace into it. Before the pain arrived, He already wrote the promise beyond it. Your tears are not signs of weakness. They are sacred seeds watering the ground where triumph will bloom. When you are surrounded by pressure, remember that even diamonds are born in the dark. Sometimes heaven's announcement does not come with trumpets, but with trials. You may not hear angels sing, but you will sense strength rising in the silence. That is the sound of victory already unfolding. God allows battles not to break you, but to build in you the weight of glory that peace alone could never teach. The proof that heaven is working in your story is that you are still standing when you had every reason to fall. If your battle feels endless, know this: it cannot outlast what God has already spoken. Victory is not waiting at the end of the road. It walks beside you with every step of faith. Each time you choose to believe when logic tells you not to, you are echoing heaven's decree. Each time you forgive, love, or hope again, you are living evidence that the outcome has already been decided. So do not curse the battle that carries your blessing. What you see as opposition, heaven sees as preparation. The pain you endure is the path that proves your purpose. You are not fighting for victory. You are fighting from it. Heaven already announced your name among the victorious. True victory is not the absence of struggle, but the endurance of faith through it. We often mistake victory for the moment the storm ends, but heaven defines it differently. To God, victory is not when the battle is over. It is when your faith refuses to bow in the midst of it. True triumph is not when your enemies fall, but when your heart remains pure while they rise against you. It is not when your pain disappears, but when your praise survives. Heaven celebrates not the easy road, but the faithful traveler who keeps walking even when the path vanishes underfoot. The world measures success by visible results, numbers, applause, comfort, but heaven measures victory by unseen perseverance. Every time you choose trust over fear, you win a battle that the earth cannot record, but heaven loudly proclaims. Enduring faith is not passive waiting. It is active defiance against despair. It is the quiet courage to believe that light still exists while you stand in the dark. The one who endures with hope is the one who wears the true crown. There is something sacred about faith that stands when everything else collapses. It tells the universe that God is still good even when life is not. That kind of endurance shakes hell more than any sermon, because it proves that your love for God is not built on circumstance, but on relationship. When you choose to keep believing through tears, heaven calls that victory. When you smile with a wounded heart, angels rise to honor it. God never promised that victory would mean comfort. He promised that it would mean completion. Every trial you endure is shaping you into someone who can carry his light with greater strength. The furnace does not destroy gold, it refines it. Likewise, your struggles are not stripping you of glory, but revealing it. So do not resent the fire that forges your faith. Endurance is heaven's proof that victory has already been won within you. The greatest triumph is not walking out of the storm untouched. It is walking out transformed, carrying faith that no wind could extinguish. True victory is not when the battle ends, but when your heart still believes through every wave. You are not waiting for victory to come. You are walking toward the revelation of what heaven has already completed. So often we pray for God to bring victory, unaware that heaven has already sealed it long before we began to ask. The struggle you see now is not the forming of your triumph. It is the unfolding of what is already finished. In the unseen realm, the outcome has been written, the banner of victory raised, and your name declared among the conquerors. What you call delay is simply the time it takes for eternity's decree to meet earthly manifestation. Heaven's promises do not operate on our clocks. The seed does not rush the season. It simply trusts the soil. In the same way, your role is not to chase what has already been secured, but to walk faithfully until the unseen becomes visible. When God speaks a promise, He does not predict the future. He declares what already is. Your victory was completed in His plan before your trial even began. The road you walk is not to earn it, but to discover it. This is why faith is so powerful. It lets you move as though the miracle is already behind you. The more you trust, the more you align your steps with heaven's rhythm. The pain, the waiting, the confusion, all of it is the process of revelation, not creation. God is not still writing your victory, He is unveiling it. The enemy wants you to believe you are losing ground, but in truth, every moment of endurance is heaven pulling back another veil from what has already been done. When Jesus said, "It is finished," He wasn't just speaking of His own mission. He was sealing the pattern for yours. Every battle you face now stands under that same declaration. So lift your head not as a beggar waiting for a breakthrough, but as a child walking toward inheritance. You are not fighting to win. You are moving to see what was already won. Each step in faith brings the invisible closer to sight. Each prayer, each act of love, each breath of trust reveals a little more of what heaven already celebrated. You are not waiting for victory's arrival. You are the living proof of its fulfillment, walking toward its radiant unveiling.